Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And the New Jersey Devils back at the Rock, looking to win back-to-back games after a beautiful victory over the Detroit Red Wings the other night. Was not in the cards. Your New Jersey Devils fall to the Washington Capitals by a score of 6-5. This one really hurt. Lots to get into. First and foremost, it is Hockey Fights Cancer Night at the Rock, celebrated league-wide. Hockey Fights Cancer has been going on for years now. Great charity work the league does to raise money to find a cure for cancer. And a very near and dear cause to me. I lost my grandmother to cancer about 21 years ago or so. And so I fight for Grandma Myrna. Rest in peace. Love you, Gram. Tons of great childhood memories with my grandmother. Old school Italian lady. She was an absolute savage, no filter whatsoever. And I think I probably get that from her. So I always tell my mom, I'm like, listen, a lot of the things about me are made up of components or elements of other family members on your side. And maybe my unfiltered ways come from my grandma Myrna. But Hockey Fights Cancer Night always reminds me of her. I think most of us have a friend or relative that has been affected by this awful disease at some point. And so, kudos to the NHL for their continued participation in this to try to find a cure. And Hockey Fights Cancer Night at the Rock. And the fans were treated to a tease, an absolute tease. Devils go down 6-5. And wow, what a weird game. A game I would like to forget. I don't even have the energy to go through goal by goal. But Caps take a 1-0 lead. The captain, Nico, ties it up. First period ends 1-1. Second period starts a couple minutes in. Justin Dowling gets his second of the year on a nice deflection in front of the net. Devils have the 2-1 lead. And at this juncture, while the Devils were getting outplayed, they weren't getting a ton of shots, not a great chance. It seemed like one of those nights where the offense was going to struggle. When the Devils had that 2-1 lead, I still had hope that we were going to win another ugly game. I thought we might win a 2-1 game, a 3-1 game. I just thought we'd find a way to win. It seemed like we would. I don't know why I had that feeling, but I understood we weren't playing a good game. I mean, it was clear that it was not their best night, but I still thought we would win. And then, unfortunately, Dawson Mercer, while trying to make a pass, he kind of fans on it. He gets the stick up high, whacks Strome in the face. And then right away, I'm like, please, no blood. And he immediately goes down to the ice. Blood everywhere. I'm like, here we go. Double minor to Dawson Mercer. And that was, I would say, the turning point of the game. I mean, there's so many things happened after that where the Devils still could have won. But I feel like that was really the true turning point of the game. Devils on a 4-on-3 penalty kill. My man Brendan Dillon out there with Johnny Kovacevic and Nico. And they had their nice little tight triangle going, getting in the lanes, killing off the penalty in the beginning. And then Kovacevic blocks a shot, and his stick basically just explodes. His stick completely explodes. A couple seconds later, Nico ends up handing his stick to Kovacevic. For those of you that don't know, kind of the chain of command. If a goalie loses a stick, a player's got to get a goalie the stick. And in a situation like that, if a defenseman is without a stick, a forward will give him their stick. So Nico gives his stick to Kovacevic, basically 4-on-2 at this point, or as Sheldon Keefe called it, 4 against 2.5. And Nico's out there with no stick, and we couldn't get a clear. And a couple seconds later, ends up in the back of the net. Game tied at 2. And then about a minute later, still on the power play, Chychrun scores. They take the 3-2 lead, and at that point, I was like, oh boy, this is not going to be good. It just deflated the building. We went from up 2-1 to down 3-2 in a matter of basically a minute and 7 or 8 seconds. And at that point, I became worried. And then closing moments of the second on the power play again, Caps get another one. Sandin gets one with 13 seconds left in the period. An absolute backbreaker because of how late it was in the period, and it now gave the Capitals a 4-2 lead. Going into the third. Absolutely painful. I was very depressed in between the second and third periods. I just felt like the Devils were on their way to probably another ugly win, and now they're facing a 2-goal deficit going into the third. But the New Jersey Devils teased us a little bit on the power play 2 minutes into the period. Stefan Noesen, the junkyard dog that he is, down low, gets his 12th of the season from Hughes and Bratt. This man is an absolute monster. Naison's 12th cuts the lead to 4-3. And at that point, I was like, all right, we got 18 minutes left. We're going to get back in this thing. I really had a good feeling they were going to get back in this. 2 minutes and 12 seconds later at 4:15, Bratt gets his 11th off a crazy bounce. Finally, one of these weird bounces worked out in the Devils' favor. Jack Hughes takes a shot, and it banks off the goalie, off Bratt's skate, in the net. Bratt's 11th from Hughes, and Palat ties the game at 4-4, 4:15. And now I'm like, okay, now we have to win. We just scored 2 goals. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Just like that to start the period, all tied up. Seemed like all the momentum was with the Devils. I'm like, we're going to take this either in the third period or in overtime. And for those of you that were watching the MSG broadcast, they had a young man who's fighting cancer, a young boy who they showed on the pregame, and he toured the locker room and got a jersey signed by all the players, and they showed little clips and things with him, did a little interview with him. And the closing question from Rachel Herzog to this little boy was, what do you think the score of the game tonight's going to be? And he said 5-4 Devils in overtime. So now I'm like, oh my God, I'm texting all my buddies. I'm like, did you see the pregame thing? And they're all like, yeah, he said 5-4 in overtime. And I really thought that it was going to play out that way, and it would have been the most phenomenal prediction of all time. Unfortunately, it was not in the cards. It did not play out that way. And at 13:54, with 6 minutes and 6 seconds left, Radish gets one to put the Caps up 5-4. And now I'm like, damn it. Damn it. We now have 6 minutes to claw back yet again after overcoming another 2-goal deficit. It seems like just such a tall order after all the fighting we did to get back in it. And 10 seconds later, the Caps strike again at 14:04. Dubois, 6-4 Caps. And now I'm like, all right, this game is obviously 98% chance the Caps are going to win this. I mean, miracles can happen, but now it's just so grim and deflating to give up the go-ahead goal, and then 10 seconds later they add another one. So now you're back down 2 with about 6 minutes left. Late in the game, Caps get a penalty. As soon as that happened, I was in the post-game live chat, and I told everybody, the Devils are going to tease us here. They're going to score on this power play. And sure enough, Stefan Noesen again, his 13th of the season at 16:45, cuts the lead to 6-5. Nason's 13th. What a monster of a man. I talk about this guy all the time. But Nason's 13th cuts it to 6-5 with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left. And despite a couple decent chances in that last 3 minutes or so, Devils couldn't get another one. Fall to the Caps 6-5. A painful loss. They overcame another 2-goal deficit. It seemed like they had all the momentum. I really thought they were going to win. And they lose a painful one. An absolutely painful one. And they got to clean up a lot of stuff. But we look at the game stats. Capitals 32 shots on goal. Devils with 27 shots on goal. Capitals 51.5% of the faceoffs. Devils with 48.5%. Caps 3 for 5 on the power play. Oof. The Devils penalty kill is pretty good. That Capitals going 3 for 5 is going to hurt their ranking a little bit. And the Devils' red-hot power play continues to be red-hot. Goes 2 for 3. The number 1 power play in the league, I may add. The New Jersey Devils, number 1 power play in the entire league. And their percentage went up after tonight because they got 2 on 3 chances. That's 66.7% on the night. And that number 1 power play, the percentage is going up. But unfortunately, it was not enough to bail them out and get the win on this particular evening. Capitals with 5 hits, which seems super low. Devils with 25 hits. You love to see that. Capitals and Devils both with 11 block shots each. Capitals 18 giveaways, Devils with 16 giveaways. Capitals 5 takeaways, and the Devils with 2 takeaways as well. And, you know, it's one of those games, guys. A lot of the doomsdayers came out again. I don't expect this Devils team to win every game. I don't know what people, like, it was a big opportunity for the Devils. Obviously, a division game. These are 4-point games. The Canes got absolutely crushed by the Panthers earlier on in the afternoon, and so to gain ground on both the Capitals and Canes in the same day would be amazing. Those are the 2 teams we're looking up at in the standings of the Metro at the moment. Canes and Capitals, in terms of points percentage. when I don't care about what the actual standing is when we have 3 games played more than everyone else. I've talked about this on almost every show, I feel like. I look at points percentage, and right now the Devils are firmly in 3rd in the Metro in terms of points percentage, and the 2 teams above them, Capitals and Canes. And it's going to be a dogfight all year long. They had a huge opportunity to gain some ground on the Caps tonight. Unfortunately, we handed them the 2 points instead of getting it ourselves, and it sucks. It really sucks, especially the way it played out. But the Doomsdayers came out and, the Devils this, the Devils that. And it's like, I just don't understand why there's such an overreaction after every game. I really don't. They're not going to win every game, guys. And overall, bigger picture. I always talk bigger picture. Look at the month of November. Your New Jersey Devils were 9-5. I will take it. I will absolutely take a Devils 9-5 record in the month of November. I don't know what unrealistic expectations some of these folks had. And if someone said in the summer, after 27 games played, the Devils will be 16-9-2, 34 points, and a points percentage of .630, I think you'd be lying if you're going to tell me right now that you wouldn't have signed up for that. I would have signed up for that in a heartbeat, in an absolute heartbeat. A brand new coach in Sheldon Keefe bringing in a new system, a ton of new players coming to the team. I said it in the summer, earlier in the season. I do think it's going to take time for them to fully be immersed in this new team and way of playing, and it's going to take time. Obviously, I would like them to have won this game tonight. Yes, I am upset and angry they did not win, but I'm not going to, say some of the crazy stuff these people are saying after every loss. It's just getting tired and old, and I'm getting beaten down, fighting them off after every loss. But shout out to those of you that are on the front lines with me, just firing back at the Doomsdayers. Overall, I thought Jake Allen, not a great game for him. I don't think he was terrible. Again, a lot of weird deflections and things. I think that were, unfortunate and not really his fault. Like I said, not a great game for him, not a bad game. I'm not putting the loss on him. A lot of people immediately see 6 goals. They pin it on the goalie. All in all, it's a team loss. It's a team sport, and they lost as a team tonight. Could Allen have played a little bit better? Sure, but he also made some big saves and big moments too. And so I'm not going to blame Allen. I'm going to blame this primarily on the team at large. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Shitty loss. They got to shake it off. They got a big one coming up Monday at the Garden. War at MSG. I am super, super pumped for this one. For those of you that have been watching me for a while, your boy Ace is an old school throwback fan. I love the physicality. I love the fisticuffs. Neanderthal hockey, and it should be on full display Monday night at Madison Square Garden. The first time these teams are squaring up since the infamous line brawl game, and Matt Rempe, starting from last season, he just poured some gasoline on this Cross River rivalry, and it seemed like it was kind of not totally boring, but it was kind of, it was in a lull for a few years, but Matt Rempe reignited that thing. Obviously, the Rangers struggling big time. We're on a 5-game losing streak before beating the Canadiens yesterday to break it, so they're 1-5 in their last 5 games. A lot of locker room turmoil, supposedly. A lot of reports coming out that they're trying to shop this guy and that guy. Supposedly Kreider might be on the way out, and what's going on with Shesterkin's contract extension. A lot of noise surrounding the Rangers, and you love to see it. I love to see the Broadway blue shirts just in complete turmoil. 1-5 in their last 5, and hopefully after Monday night they could be 1-6 in their last 6, and your New Jersey Devils go out there and beat them on the scoreboard and beat them in the bouts. I want to see Dilly get one. Would love to see Brendan Dillon in his first Devils-Rangers battle shed the mitts and get one going. I would love to see someone cream Trouba. I absolutely despise Trouba. The guy's a piece of trash. Hated him ever since that Game 7 with that hit on Timo. I mean, wow. But Dilly, McDermott, whoever wants to go. I'd love to see Noesen or Cotter get one. I don't really care. I just want the Devils to come out and set the tone and let the bodies hit the ice. Just come out there crushing, and when the time's right, let's get the mitts off and just take it to them, because a lot of bad blood between these two teams now. And coincidentally, Matt Rempe probably will not play. For those of you that haven't been following it, as many pointed out, since last season when he kind of first emerged in the league, he kind of is a fringe NHL player. And so with the Rangers being bad recently, it seems like he hasn't been playing a lot. It will be interesting to see if the Rangers put him in the lineup, if they think that's going to provide them with some sort of spark or something. for the game on Monday. But as it stands right now, if I had to bet on it, I would say I'm going to say no, but it could be a 50-50. We'll see. We will see. I don't know if they believe that that's going to help them win the game or not. And right now, their primary focus is winning games because they've let a lot of points go in the past, week and a half or 2 weeks. But Devils lose 6-5, a completely painful one. Jack Hughes with 3 assists. Noesen with 2 goals, 3 hits. Nico had 2 hits. Shane Bowers with 4 hits in limited ice time. Palat with 3 hits. Timo Meier, 2 hits. Justin Dowling with 3 hits. Cotter, 2 hits. Halla with a hit. Mercer with 2 hits. Very, very light hitting night for the defenseman. Dylan with 2 hits. Pesci with 1. That's it from the defense. We gotta get those numbers up, boys. Did you forget we're heavier, edgier, more violent? When I see 3 total hits by defensemen, that's not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. We got to get those numbers up, boys. But if I'm looking for any sort of silver linings from the game, is that Stefan Noesen is a junkyard dog, emergent player of the year. I love this man. Stefan Noesen is a state treasure. He's a treasure to the state of New Jersey. What a year for Stefan Noesen. Jack looked like, for most of the game, he looked like Jack Hughes doing Jack things, just kind of weaving through defenders and getting shots off and creating. You like to see Jack flying around. I thought Jack was flying around. Timo was kind of all over the place as well. I thought Timo has looked pretty damn good. He had 2 assists tonight with 2 blocks and 2 hits in his second game back from that nonsensical suspension that he got. Cotter's always digging deep, getting in the corners and on the walls and throwing the body. So, yeah, guys, they're not all going to be pretty. We're not going to win every game. But a few good individual performances from some of these guys. And also they continue to show the never say die attitude. They erased a 2-goal deficit in the third period. It's not even like you were down 2-0 early. They were down 2 goals going into the third, quickly erased the deficit before ultimately losing the game anyway. But you like to see a team that could battle back, overcome adversity. They've shown that plenty of times this season with the potent offense, especially with the power play clicking the way it is. Teams are going to be very cautious to take penalties against us because obviously, as it's shown all year, the Devils can and will make you pay if you take penalties. Overall, though, Devils go down 6-5. It is what it is. Lastly, 7th straight game giving up the first goal. I mean, I don't understand. It's infuriating. I don't understand why they come out so slow in the first. 7 straight games of surrendering the first goal. We saw a record number of first goals against last year. I think it was in the 50s. It may have even gotten to, I don't know, I forget. I think it was high 50s that they surrendered the first goal last year. That's obviously seems to be a recurring theme from last year to this year that a lot of people are getting PTSD over, and I fully understand. There still is some remnants and shades of some of the bad behaviors and things from last year's team carrying over. Giving up the first goal seems to be one of them. Obviously, being terrible in the second game of back-to-backs seems to be another thing that we're trying to overcome. And that's really it, guys. It was a long day, long night. But this Devils team is going to be A-okay. Don't listen to the doomsdayers. Don't let them rain on our parade. We have waited years and years for this. My longtime Devils fans, I salute you. I've been a fan for 30 years now, and a lot of you have been fans even longer than me. But for the long-time Devils fans, this is the most excited I've been about a Devils team in years and years. If you take away that 22-23 team, it's basically over a decade. And to be honest, I am more excited about the composition of this team than the 22-23 team because I did like that team, and obviously they brought us on a great run. That franchise record-setting 112-point season before beating the despised Rangers in a beautiful 7-game series. Great team, fun run, but I didn't love the roster construction as much as I love this roster. I really do. I believe this goaltending tandem is much better than the tandem then. I believe the defense is much better. And most importantly, I believe we have that sandpaper grit tenacity that we did not really have in the 22-23 season. So in terms of what I believe the team can do and the actual guys on the team, I have not been this excited to watch Devils hockey on a nightly basis in years and years, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way. Again, I'm not saying we're going to win the cup or anything, but I'm sticking with my preseason prediction. I do believe this team wins 2 playoff rounds, and it's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year. They could beat anyone on any given night, and they've shown they could lose to anyone on any given night as well. But I will take my chances with these boys any day. Heavier, edgier, more violent character guys. Love this team. Super jacked for Monday. I'll be maybe doing a pregame show. I'm not sure. My buddy Chris, some of you that have been watching me for a while, were introduced to him in the post-game show after the Rangers line brawl game. I called him the other night. He will be coming over to watch the game, and he'll be joining me live on the post-game show. I am hoping it is a big Devils victory, and we are all just roasting him in the post-game show, because if they lose, he's going to be relentless, and I'll be abused on my own show. But, all right, that's it. That's all I got. Let me know what you thought about this game in the comments. Try to keep it somewhat, not doomsday. Anything, everything Devils hockey, throw it out there in the comments. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.